joined. We're going to kind of live stream the Cybertruck unveiling and add a bit of our commentary. Emmett, maybe you could start off and just tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. I think I was one of the earlier investors in Tesla. Starting in 2009, 2010, I started discovering and investing in Tesla and Tesla options. Most people know me from some of the Dave Lee videos done on me and such. And so, I'm just fortunate enough to be highly aware and curious about Tesla very early and making, the right bets at the right times and such. So, but I think you're the person we need to be more aware of, Matthew. You are, I coined the term Cybertruck whisperer because I feel like you have had a lot of really good early insights on, the Cybertruck. And you went to the, what was it, Investor Day or something, where you talked to Tom Zhu and you got some insights there. And so I'm curious to pick your brain about the Cybertruck. We got about 10 minutes here before the presentation begins. And what are the three demonstrations? Do you think there's going to be three demonstrations like you mentioned in the Joe Rogan, or are we misinterpreting that? What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think I'm not sure when he says demonstrations, I'm not 100% sure if those are going to be live or pre-recorded. So like something like the crash test, I imagine is probably not going to be live, but I am very excited to see that. I don't think they're going to shoot bullets at the vehicle, with a crowd there. Maybe they do it.
No, they won't. Yeah.
A quarter mile away, where people can kind of see it from far away. I don't think we're going to see a demo of it floating. That would kind of be fun if we did, but I don't think we'll see that. I certainly expect to see a towing demo. We've seen rumors that it's going to have a towing capacity of 12,500 pounds, which puts it in the kind of mid to upper mid level of towing capacity compared to an F-150.
You think that'll be a demonstration, like showing some big towing of the Falcon Heavy or something like that?
I don't think they'll show a demo of it towing something larger than that amount. We saw like a Model X demo towing of 747, like, I know, 6-7 years ago. And it's like, sure, with low friction, an electric motor is going to be able to tow almost anything. But I think they'll show something realistic, like here's a fully loaded trailer and here's the Cybertruck passing a bunch of regular cars going up a hill or something like that.
Okay.
What kind of demos do you expect to see?
I hope it'll be something with the water. We've heard that could be a boat, maybe. I don't know. I'm hoping. I'm probably just, the more I think about it, it's less likely it seems because of all the liability. It would open up the Tesla. People are getting their Cybertrucks and trying to plow it into the ocean and drown or cause some problem. Like, it would probably be. So I kind of doubt, but I think I think it's functionally able to go in like lakes and stuff. It'd be cool to show a demo of how that works, but I don't know if they'll do that. It would be neat if somehow Tesla Optimus was incorporated into this. You got to think with the robotaxi vision Elon Musk has, then and what he's doing with Optimus, that the last foot delivery, you have the last mile delivery, then you have last foot delivery, and Optimus will be the last foot delivery. So like the Cybertruck pulls up with no one in it. And then Optimus gets out, takes something out of the trunk and carries it to your front doorstep, drops it off, walks casually back into the Cybertruck and drives off. That'd be kind of neat to show something like that, I think. So, hey, Herbert, how are you?
Pretty good.
Hey, Herbert, thanks for joining us.
How are you guys doing?
Good. Nice, just off the cuff chat here, just to kind of get a couple final predictions from the Cybertruck whisperer, Matthew Donegan-Ryan here. Yeah.
Matthew, I thought you were still going to go anyways. The parties are pretty incredible. So you should have just gone.
Yeah, I was planning on going, but I was in, Vegas last week and I've got to go to DC on Monday, and it's just a lot of travel, and my wife is out of town right now, so I have both kids. So it was just too much going on to, stand outside. But I mentioned to Herbert, Emmet, I didn't tell you, but someone higher up at Tesla's stepped in and I will be able to attend the next event. So that's pretty fun. So Looking
Oh, that's
forward
great.
to
I mean, what would you rather? I was going to put out a poll out. If you had to choose one, what would you choose going to? If you had to choose one, the Cybertruck delivery event or the Tesla Optimus delivery event? I think you'd choose the Tesla Optimus delivery event, right? I mean, that's going to
Yeah.
be much bigger. I'm saving my cards for that one in a couple of years. That'll be amazing.
Do you think we're going to see an Optimus demo today or anything with Optimus? Maybe an
I do.
Optimus stepping out of the car. Yeah, Herbert?
Oh, yeah, I am fully expecting it. I mean, it would be like some people are saying, oh, it's going to be fully focused on Cybertruck. I think that you need to have the Optimus. Optimus needs to show up everywhere. If you notice in the showrooms, they have the Optimus standing there as well. So it's gonna have to be there, I think.
Yeah, and Herbert, I was listening to your chat a little bit earlier when I was driving. You were with your chat with Nick and I forget the other Randy, and you were saying that you think that could be one of the demonstrations of the Optimus, and it made me think. I was like, you know what, you might be right. Maybe they have like the last foot delivery Optimus showing how like it gets out and brings your package to your front door from the Cybertruck or something. I don't know. I think eventually that's what's functionally going to happen, but it'd be cool to have some kind of demo with Optimus and combined with the Cybertruck. I think, right?
Right. I mean, if so, what do you guys think about what happened yesterday with the big event yesterday, the interview? Did it take away the conversation about the Cybertruck? And so it rolls back into if they do the Optimus, would that take away? I don't think so. The Optimus would actually just blow it up even more.
What do you think, Matthew?
Yeah, I think by tomorrow, the only thing anyone will be talking about is the Cybertruck.
I hope so.
I think so too. I was actually thinking, I was like, I mean, as sad as, we all love Charlie Munger, but when he died, I was like, oh, thank goodness that wasn't like the day right before the Cybertruck unveiling. I want it like today to be dedicated to Cybertruck. I don't want OpenAI drama craziness today. I want like today and tomorrow to be like all Cybertrucks pressed, So there's a lot of crazy things going on around it, but so far I feel like even if the Optimus comes out, it'll still be, it'll help enhance the Cybertruck exposure today, which would be nice.
Sawyer Merritt was bumped out of CNBC because of the Charlie Munger's situation.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think
I think it's more valuable to have Sawyer on after the unveil. I think CNBC gets Sawyer on there because he actually expands their audience. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets more daily views than a lot of their shows. But his tweets about the line were super informative today. I'm sure we'll see some in-depth video of that during the presentation. It's funny, a lot of the skeptics were saying these are going to be hand-built trucks, they're only going to deliver 10 of them, there is no line. I even saw one of the journalists, I think from Jalopnik, he tweeted out basically crowdsourcing negatives about how this isn't going to be considered in production, and was asking like his followers like to define a vehicle being in production to kind of get some good material for his article. So you can see a lot of the skeptics are, they've already pre-written their negative articles. So it'll be funny to see if any of them change their mind during this presentation.
And Matthew, you had some good insight. I don't know what is your investigative question asking or what, but like you figure, you kind of suspected there's going to be accessories built by Tesla. We're already seeing, that to come to fruition. Is there anything else that you think that isn't being like talked about that you see as a potential, whether it's a mini surprise or a big surprise to most people today? Anything else you can think of or that you maybe have thought about or talked to people about?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're going to be surprised. If you look at the first, Model 3 unveil and the Model X unveil and the Semi, we had surprises in all of them. The Model Y, I don't think there was really any surprises, but I'm sure there'll be a surprise. There'll be some functionality, that people aren't anticipating. There'll be some accessories that we're not anticipating. I think they will show off the light bar. They will possibly show off the tent, the base camp. They might show off the winch. I was also told there'll be steel bumpers. So, the truck comes with plastic bumpers, but you can add steel bumpers, which aren't, 5 mile an hour, zero impact compliant bumpers, but a lot of people put those on off-road trucks. So I'm sure, I'm sure we'll see those. And, there's going to be I'm going to be surprised with something, I'm sure. I'll actually be surprised if it starts on time.
So you're not worried that it's in 37 seconds?
No, I mean, I'm sure we'll start to see some animation, but when's the last time Elon started a presentation on time?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you guys think about the first of all, the tweet by Elon this morning with the at least 10 Cybertrucks, and he said production line, and then that they let the people that are at the event now taking photos and videos and of everything that's going on, and it's like you can actually see inside the Cybertruck as well. I mean,
when we went on when we went on the tour during Investor Day, they wouldn't let us take our phones out.
Right.
So obviously they're proud of what they're showing off. All right, watch live stream. Let's see if it starts. Oh, that's interesting. So live stream is redirecting to X rather than YouTube like in the past.
Interesting.
It says Cybertruck production is in full swing. That's Omar just tweeted out a post, Cybertruck production in full swing.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. What are they at? Like 200,000 or 150,000 capacity currently? So that would be very big news if they're building. What would that be, like 3,000 a week or something? That'd be incredible.
But wouldn't this move the stock? Because right now the expectation is it's going to be very, very slow ramp. I mean, the big post they think is 70,000 next year, but if this is true.
I think it would move the stock. I think you're right. I think the stock could have a nice little bump if actually they're building 3,000 a week, like next week, or the week after. Yeah.
Emmet, speaking of moving the stock, I don't know if you want to share, but are you playing any calls or puts right now on the short-term ones?
Not really. No, I mean, I'm just long-term bullish. I mean, personally, I was very close to pulling the trigger on some very short-term puts personally, just for like tomorrow's expiry, because I know I remember the Cybertruck unveil, like inside I'm like, oh, the stock's gonna go crazy, but then I have to think logically, like every time there's some big unveiling, like the Cybertruck unveiling, the stock tanked right after. Anyway, looks like things are starting.
Yeah, I think in general, a lot of these announcements, obviously often Tesla, the stock tanks after them, but even just buying, puts and calls, both puts and calls, 5% out of the money on either side, is not a bad way.
Maybe
to play
not.
it.
Yeah, I mean, you could be just throwing money away, though. You never know. The stock could just zigzag and then remain at 240, come next week or something. Who knows? Yeah, it's definitely gambling, glorified gambling, the short-term call and put options, I feel like.
Yeah, let's say for those of you watching the stream, maybe write in the comments the time that you think the live stream will start. Maybe we'll do some kind of prize for whoever wins.
Well, Tesla just retweeted now live from the Tesla Twitter handle. So you got to think they're going to be close to being on time. They're not going to tweet that. They got to be, this is like, you think Elon approved that tweet from Tesla, or you'd think, maybe not. Maybe it'll still be a delay. It always waits. Do you think that, real quick, before it goes live, do either of you think there's going to be some big surprise we haven't heard about unveiled by Elon when he's talking about things, when he brings on stage?
I do think so. I mean, he's not going to say yesterday, this is going to be the greatest product launch on earth this year. He hyped that up pretty big.
Yesterday, yeah.
When he said that, it's got to be more than just the excitement and just more what we've known. There must be something. I know, but I'm an ultra bull. I'm a forever bull, so I'm always looking for hopeful things like that.
What do you think, Matthew?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to know because obviously in our little bubble, this is definitely the most excited I've ever been for any Tesla event. Outside of the bubble, I'm not sure how much other people are aware of it. I will say when I was at the Tesla retail store in Bellevue, Washington on Sunday, the place was packed. And not only were people trying to get a look at the Cybertruck, but all the other vehicles that, they had the full, S3, XY there. They were all just packed and people were like waiting to get in and out of them. The Model Y and the Model X in particular had like a bunch of families jumping in.
Brings a lot of first time, customers into the store, probably new to be first-time customers that haven't really seen it yet.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like we're now at a screensaver here while we're getting ready to start the presentation. So we got to be pretty close.
Yeah.
And once it starts, we're not going to be talking over the presentation. When there's a lull or when they're playing music or something, we might add some comments. So those of you who are watching via the stream, don't worry, we're not going to ruin your experience.
Yeah, I may have to go offline once it starts and watch it with my headphones on in a special seated position to like absorb everything. I don't know, but I'm happy to speculate with you guys until it starts here.
Thanks, appreciate you joining. Yeah, just I got some messages from some friends who are on site, and it seems like the staff are all extremely excited. One of my favorite things from going to the factory and meeting a lot of staff is just learning that everyone who works for the company is completely aligned with the goals of the business. They're all working towards the same goal. They work as a team. There didn't seem to be much politics. Typically corporations of that size are have a ton of politics, but didn't see any of that. So I can imagine there's like a great sense of relief for the team to finally unveil this. And what I'm most hoping to see is I'm hoping to see Elon be optimistic and excited. The last couple times we've seen him speak has been pretty kind of down, a little bit pessimistic, maybe a little bit depressed. He's certainly been taking a beating. So hopefully he's in a great mood today.
Yeah. I see David Castman in the comments. I'd expect some kind of surprise feature, specification, or demo. That's what we were just talking about for anyone tuning in. Herbert, you think there's going to be some kind of surprise? Matthew, you think maybe, and I'm 50-50. I think the whole unveiling is sort of a surprise to the general public in a way. It's like a wake-up call, like, hey, look what Tesla's doing, something crazy. But to people like us in the bubble, will there be a big surprise? I don't know. It's hard to say.
It can just be the price. It can be just the price.
That's true. Maybe it's like $50,000 starting price for the most basic no option version or something.
Yeah, it's funny. Some people have been saying they think it might have the same starting price as we saw, 4 years ago, which would be extremely surprising. I'm anticipating about a $10,000 bump from the prices 4 years ago, but that's essentially just inflation. That's no increase.
I'm not sure how as much good like reporting that would get. I'm not sure how I would feel about that as an investor. Like maybe in the future, but right now, let's sell them and get some margin. Like not take a big loss. Let's just, there's a waiting list of 2 million people or something. Like let's just sell them at a price that's like somewhat reasonable, expected, where Tesla can hopefully make a profit on them still. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in the short term, the volumes are going to be low enough that even if they're selling these at a negative margin or no margin versus $10,000-$20,000 margin, probably going to be pretty inconsequential. If they've only sell 1,000 vehicles, 2,000 vehicles over the next month or two.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there's probably some balancing. If they came out and said the car was $100,000, they're going to sell every single one they can sell for probably 6 months, maybe longer. But that's going to give them a bunch of negative press that maybe Elon doesn't want to take right now.
Yeah, I see Saad Ahmed in the comments saying matte black option. Yeah, I mean the wraps are going to be great. What's that, Herbert?
Yeah, that's the one I want, the matte black. So, first of all, we got to sit back and realize that I think this is the really, really good signs now, right? I mean, just a month ago, we saw him send out that email to staff saying that, we need to be precision. And then in earnings call, he said that, right, there might be slow to scale. He made that announcement pretty clear. But today, he posted out the production line. They're letting people take photos and videos of the production line. He made that statement yesterday, how great this vehicle is going to be. Why would he show you the production line or say it's a production line if it's still manually created, if there's still little issues here and there, they haven't solved it, right? He must feel much more confident than we were initially thinking.
Yeah. And if you remember, the Model Y ramped up real fast, but that was an existing kind of manufacturing technologies originally. This is a new manufacturing process. Maybe he's lowballing us all and sandbagging it, and maybe it's actually going to be a pretty good. I see in the comments, Anurag Maheshwari says he's an industrial engineer here. Full production, which is the quote that was used, absolutely does not mean they are producing at a 250,000 run rate. That's their capacity. Right. Initial ramp, the full production is the midpoint of the 250 best case, he thinks. So don't be misled. So even the midpoint, 125,000, that's still really good if they're already at that. That'd be really great.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they could produce 100,000 next year. I'm sure they'll be at their Elon said the full run rate is like 200 or 250, whatever it was. So it'll probably take them a year or so to get there. But I wouldn't be surprised if they produce 100,000 in the first year. If they did, I imagine, most people like us will probably be able to take delivery. When the Model X and I know, Emmet, I believe you had one of the very first Model X's. Herbert and I, we both had one of the very first Model 3s.
I had a first Model S Plaid, a signature Model X, and early on, I remember as an early investor in Tesla, in most of my net worth being in Tesla at that time, the stock hadn't jumped in this last. It had the 2013 run up I run up, but I remember trying to afford the signature Model X, but it was the ultra high end price range. Yeah, I was looking at my personal account, I was like, can I confidently send my kids to the school I want to, or should I do the signature Model X? I was like, I need the signature Model X. But in the end, I was able to do both. But it was the Model X, signature Model X was super high priced, I remember. And it was super innovative. So I wonder if the earliest model Cybertrucks are going to be super high priced too. But they don't really need to, I don't know. I mean, the price point, that's going to be really interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine with most people, who are buying them are probably going to be the people who have who selected to buy FSD. 4 years ago at the $7,000 or $8,000 price point. So, that's essentially all margin. So we can assume, even if the price is say $80,000 for the tri-motor, the transaction will be maybe $88,000, and then you add the premium wheels and a couple other options, and soon you're up to low to mid 90,000s. I think there'll be a lot of trucks sold in that range.
Yeah. Put in the comments what anyone watching thinks this big surprise could be, if it involves Optimus or not, or whatever. If there is a surprise, and what you think the price point of these initial Cybertrucks will be. It looks like the range we sort of know is probably 290 miles or whatever. That seems like that's sort of been that cat's been out of the bag. Do you guys think otherwise, or do you think that seems to be about what the range is going to be of these early Cybertruck deliveries?
Yeah, I think the dual motor will be a hair over 300. 4 years ago they said the dual motor will have at least 300 plus miles. I have heard that the dual motor with 18-inch wheels will be over 300 miles. I think the vehicle that Marquez was driving, that was probably a dual motor with the 20-inch wheels, which will give it a hit on the miles. So I think we'll see somewhere in the 310, maybe 320 mile range. And then for the tri-motor, I don't think we'll see much more than 400. I think best case scenario it's 410, 420, but I'd be very surprised if it's above 420 mile range on the tri-motor.
Yeah,
which I think is totally sufficient. I've got one of the new Model X's. It has a 350 mile range, and I've never come close to meeting that. We drive to Portland often. We drive up to Vancouver and British Columbia. We go to Idaho, and you need to stop and have a bite to eat, before getting to any of those destinations. And even something like Portland, I can go from my house to Portland and almost back to Seattle without charging.
Yeah, I think the range, but people still just certainly, even though realistically we don't need that much range, there's certainly range anxiety exists, and people just feel a lot more comfortable always seeing 100-mile plus buffer in their range. When it gets below 100, they get a little nervous, anxious. I know I do, even though I'm just driving around town. I'm like, I hope I don't forget to plug it in tonight or something, So I think people just want to see the maximum range. They would buy one for 500 miles. 500 miles. I would probably buy one for 500 miles plus range, even if it costs an extra $20,000 versus a 300-mile range. You know, I would probably pay that extra money just for that extra 200-mile range I'd probably never even use except for a really long road trip. So I think people psychologically just want the maximum range, you know, not to be worried, you know.
Yeah. I think if you're towing long distances a lot, you'll definitely want more range. You know, like towing might give you 50% hit on range. So, you know, if it was a 400-mile range and you get a hit down to 200 miles and you're going camping for the weekend, you know, you can still drive for 3 hours before you need to charge. That's quite a bit. But, you know, 500 miles would be nice. I think most people who tow, you know, they might go on 1 or 2 long trips a year. The rest of the time they're towing, you know, fairly locally. They still don't really need that much more range.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Steven in the comments says, what do you think about the ATV? Yeah, remember at the original Unveiling, there was the Cyber ATV. We haven't seen anything about that in a long time, really. So I wonder if that's going to be something here. Maybe it'll be shown somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not anticipating them ever making an ATV. I think it goes against Elon's kind of safety philosophy. We did see when the toy ATV came out, Franz published a video showing him riding the original ATV. But as far as I know, that original ATV was built by like one random engineer at Tesla. And was, you know, there's no one ever actually like working on it.
Yeah. So Chris Smith says maybe a trunk monkey accessory cage for Optimus in the bed. So maybe the Cybertruck, you know, will open up and Optimus will come out like it's like a little like, you know, stage for the Optimus to sit in until you pull up somewhere. I don't know. That'd be interesting.
What if we saw an Optimus like charging in the bed of the truck?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I just did a poll. 62% of people think that Tesla will be.
What's that, Herbert? I can't hear you. 63% what?
63% of people said the Tesla bot will be in the event.
Oh, wow.
So most people, 2/3 of people, 2/3 of Tesla, you know, radicals. We're all Tesla radicals.
Exactly.
I think it'll be part of the presentation. I think that's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, the general public is so uninformed on this. It's wild, right? I mean, you hear people comment about the Cybertruck on news media, and most people, sometimes you'll get someone that's like, oh, I think it's kind of interesting. Most people are like, oh, I think it's hideous or ugly. Never sell anything. They have no idea there's like 2 million people putting their money down wanting it already. It's crazy. Dr. Know-It-All, he's one of my, he's really good. He's got a YouTube channel that's really good, but he had a good video earlier today about design, about the design being so polarizing, and that's how, like, he walked through the psychology, the evolutionary like psychology of how we adapt to such a new radical design, and it was interesting. But I also saw a stat that like in 1893, the Eiffel Tower was such a radical design that it caused riots or something. That's insane.
Wow.
Yeah. So maybe the Cybertruck will cause riots up when it sits on the road because it'll be so weird to look at. It's crazy.
It's going to be the opposite, Emmett. The Cybertruck is going to be used by every single police department, every single military. This is going to be the thing that's going to stop riots.
Yeah. Larry Ellison sort of previewed that with his Cybertruck police car thing. I wonder if there's something to that, like right away coming out. You know?
Exactly. I bet you that's what their business is, outfitting the police.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one thing about the Cybertruck is it's already wired for accessories. So police have to mount accessories on the vehicle. Traditionally those accessories are powered. They're powered by the 12-volt battery, and they have to wire all of them to the 12-volt battery. With the Cybertruck, it already has wiring for accessories at the front and the rear of the vehicle. And on the touchscreen, you can actually activate those items. So like Ford kind of were the first ones to do this back in 2010 when the first Raptor came out. It came with 4 buttons that were pre-wired for accessories. So Tesla already has those wires. one of the reasons they're making the accessories in-house is these accessories need to be 48 volts instead of 12 volt accessories, and I think that's why Tesla's making them. But as you said, like the Cybertruck, I'd say $50,000 or $60,000 is going to be right in line with a Ford Explorer that a lot of police currently use, and it usually costs around $90,000 to $100,000, for the full price of a police Ford Explorer. So the Cybertruck, already being wired, already being bulletproof, at least the doors, it might not cost any more just for the upfront payment, and then obviously the maintenance will be much lower. With police vehicles, not only do they have an odometer, but they have an hour meter, and so they run these vehicles on idle for thousands and thousands of hours, and so the engine wears out just from running at idle instead of driving, and there's going to be virtually no wear on a Cybertruck when it's idle.
That music, that background music is a little loud. It's hard to hear you guys. I don't know if there's a way to tune it down.
I'll turn down the music. Is that better?
Like middle, just a little bit, but I still like to hear it in the background, but it was just getting louder and louder.
I'll turn it down, and then when the stream actually starts, we'll increase it. Those in the comments, definitely ask any additional questions. We'll try and cover those.
Yeah, David Caspin again says he expects at least one high mileage variant over 400 miles because towing would be a big hit. That makes sense, right? You guys think that they'll probably have some variant that is good for towing, so they'd have to have more range in that case, right?
True, yeah. And maybe in the comments, if you want to put in your predictions of price and range, and we'll see who's closest.
My price point, I'm going to guess, is going to be $59,000 for the standard version with no accessories or FSD. $59,000. What do you guys, Herbert? What do you think, and Matthew? What do you guys think for the standard model that is rumored to be this first one coming out, dual motor?
Yeah, I have zero predictions on price or range. Won't even want to do it.
All right, I'll put it out there. So I'm predicting essentially the same. The dual motor at 59.9, the tri-motor at 79.9. I think range will be around 310, 320 for the dual motor, and around 400. Maybe a max of 420 for the tri-motor.
420, yeah. They'll aim for the 420 mark probably.
Yeah, and the range on the dual motor, it's not going to be like 290 or 295. If they were able to get it that much, they would have bumped it up just so it would have over 300.
I don't know though. That I thought so too, but that Marquise Brownlee video, if you do the calculations, it seems like 291 or something like that. It seems to be the 100% range.
But I'm guessing he probably had the 20-inch wheels on that.
But do you think it adjusts for the wheel type on there? I mean, I don't think my Model Y does it? I don't think our Model X does. Does it adjust the range for that?
I know on the website, when you change your configuration on an order, it adjusts the range.
It does, yeah.
In the vehicle, I guess I've never tried switching the wheels. I used to, when I had a Performance Model 3 or Performance S, I used to put on winter tires in the winter, so I'd change the wheels, but I haven't done it. Once we switch to Model X and Model Y, I've never had to change the wheels on my car, so I haven't noticed recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we're 23 minutes late, you could say. Somebody in the Twitter comments, his prediction when we asked when it would start, someone said 33 minutes late, and so he's probably
close.
Price is Right rules. He's probably in the lead right now.
Yeah, another 10 minutes. Yeah. So a lot of people are saying 65,000 for the dual motor, 75,000 in the comments. I see. Oh, what's going on?
Looks like something's happening.
All right.
We'll keep it down. for a little bit here.
Yeah.
Welcome. Welcome to the Cybertruck delivery event. So I'm going to do it from the back of the truck here. Hey. So once in a while, once in a long while, a product comes along that is rare. That is once every 5 to 10 years, something really special, a really unusual product comes along. And we'll remember those special moments when, indeed, special moments. But these things are rare. It's very rare that a product comes along that is seemingly impossible, that people said was impossible, that experts said was impossible. And this is one of those times. We have a car here that experts said was impossible, that experts said would never be made, that it really is the most, I think it's our best product. I think it's the most unique thing on the road. And finally, the future will look like the future. So what we're aiming for here is something that's more truck than truck. Okay. Thanks, bro. That's literally my brother there. So what we have here is something that is a better truck than truck, while also being a better sports car than a sports car in the same package. So, first of all, let's, they talk about how, trucks are tough. That's one of the defining characteristics of a truck. So, how tough is this truck? Let's find out. So, we actually had to come up with a special, ultra-strong, Tesla-designed steel alloy. So this alloy, this metal did not exist before. We needed something that you could actually manufacture, but that would have basically no corrosion, that didn't need paint, but you can still make it in volume. And part of the reason that it has this angular shape is you can't actually stamp these body panels. The body panels would break the stamping machine. So, and I should say also, because of the steel skeleton, it actually has more torsional rigidity than a sports car. It has more torsional stiffness than a McLaren P1. So that's a big deal. Now you may remember an incident 4 years ago. Didn't quite go as planned. And Franz, maybe we should try it again.
Don't miss.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I mean, I think we could probably have a pro picture of it if it still work. So anyway, it's the glass is tough, basically. That's what we're saying. So you don't have to worry about like rocks hitting the glass and cracking the glass. This glass is basically rock proof. It also makes the car very quiet. So it's the thing that you'll appreciate when you drive the car is how smooth and quiet it is. It doesn't feel like a normal truck. It's smooth as silk and silent when you drive it. Yeah, so in terms of toughness, and then things like rollover, because the center of gravity is so low, it doesn't roll over. And if you're ever in an argument with another car, you will win. Yeah, so in movies, you sometimes see the hero or heroine hiding behind the car door while being shot with bullets. That doesn't actually work unless you're driving a Cybertruck. So if Al Capone showed up with a Tommy gun and emptied the entire magazine our door, you would still be alive. So, instead people say like, well, why'd you make it bulletproof? I'm like, why not? How tough is your truck? Because the other trucks go through both sides. So you shoot a bullet, goes through both sides of the car. You just never know. I mean, sometimes you get these like late civilization vibes. You never know when the apocalypse will come along at any moment. And here at Tesla, we have the finest in apocalypse technology. I was on the Joe Rogan show, and Joe bet me $1 that his armor-piercing steelhead arrow would go through the car. It Now he owes me $1. So. Now, what about utility? So, strength is great, but is this a, perhaps just a show truck, just a showpiece, or can it do actual work? How does it work as a real everyday truck? Well, here we have the future towing the future. So, if you can fit any cargo in the trunk or in the bed, you can basically move it around. So it's got over a ton of payload capability, but you could really put more than that in it. You can tow over 11,000 pounds, and it's got a super tough composite bed, no liner needed. The bed is 6 foot long, 4 foot wide, and you can fit 4 by 8 feet, 4 by 8 pieces of plywood in with the back down. So, for those who are really into the truck world, there's something in the truck world called a truck pull. This is really the key test of how much power does your truck actually have. So you have to pull this 40,000 pound sled. And when we went to the track, we said, well, what's the best that you've seen? They said, well, it'd be the Ford F-350 diesel. It was like, well, let's put our truck up against that. The guy who runs the truck pool said, there's no way. There's no way. It's like, well, let's try it. Let's see what happens. We actually had to slightly turn the car at the end so it didn't hit the wall. So this, you have here a car that is, bullet tough, like that phrase, TM, and can outpull an F-350 diesel. Has a massive towing capacity, massive bed. It's basically an incredibly useful truck. It's not just some grandstanding showpiece like me. It's actually very useful. Now, what about performance? So this, I should say, it has an adaptive air suspension. So no matter what the load is, you can always have it can set the ride height at low, high, anything. It'll automatically adjust the damping according to how much load it's carrying and the road conditions. It has a 17-inch ground clearance. That's a true 17 inches. Typically with a truck, you'll get the differential hanging down low, the rear differential, and that's what you'll high side on a rock. But this has a completely flat bed, so you could drive over basically anything. We actually took the Cybertruck on a Baja rally drive. So this is insane off-road capability. It has locking differentials, rear torque vectoring, and the crazy thing is they'll do this all in comfort. It has steer-by-wire, which is, it's one of the things where most people don't know what that means, but it's how modern jets are designed. The steer-by-wire, which gives you variable gain. So if you turn the wheel the the steering yoke a small amount in the parking lot, it will turn the wheels a lot. But if you turn it on a highway, it turns the wheels a small amount. So it dynamically adjusts how much the wheels turn according to what your speed is. And this actually makes it very easy to drive. It has a turning circle less than a Model S. So this thing can practically turn it, rotate on a dime, basically. It has incredible low-speed maneuverability. And then there's a lot of advanced details under the skin. It's the first time that a car is moving to a 48-volt low-voltage architecture from 12 volts, which has been around for 100 years. We have Ethernet comms, distributed controllers, allows for 70% less wire in the car. And it's really, the internals are as advanced as the externals. It's a whole new step change in the technology. So let's take it to the racetrack and see how does the Cybertruck perform against a Porsche 911. And I should say this is an actual Porsche. We literally just got it from the dealer. 2023 Porsche 911. But wait, there's more. So the It can tow a Porsche 911 across a quarter mile faster than the Porsche 911 can go by itself. I should say tougher than bullets. Tow pretty much anything. Faster than a 911 while towing a 911. So, and deliveries begin now. Thank you. So. These are the actual owners. We're handing over production Cybertrucks to their actual owners. Thank you for buying Cybertruck. Oh, hi. Hi, sure. Absolutely. Just open the, I think it's usually park. There we go.
You got me the best driver in town.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. So what do you guys think? Type in your comments in the chat. I'm pretty blown away. You know, so there's a couple things that I did not expect. I thought the 0 to 60 would be closer to 3 seconds. Turns out it's 2.6 seconds, which is incredible. You know, that's as fast. That's faster than a pre-refresh.
Well, as you can see,
Model
we've got
X.
quite a few to deliver here. So,
You know, doing a
Hi.
quarter mile in
Thank you.
under 11 seconds. I mean,
Oh, wow,
10
okay.
second car.
welcome.
There's not a lot of 10-second quarter mile.
Hope you enjoy your
cars. You know,
car.
if you look at basically almost any sports car from 5 years ago, from Porsche, Lamborghini, Ferrari, you'd have to get one of the very best ones to have a 10-second car, and Tesla's doing that in a truck. The towing, we had seen rumors that the towing capacity was 12,500 pounds. Elon announced it was more than 11,000 pounds. As I mentioned before, I think he's sandbagging there. He's purposely saying it's got a lower towing capacity than it does, because when you tow, there's going to be a big range hit. And if Elon said, oh, it's got a 20,000 pound towing capacity, you can probably tow 20,000 pounds comfortably, but your range might get cut by 70% or 80% or something crazy. And he probably doesn't want those kind of stories.
Enjoy your truck.
Thank you so much.
That towing
Guys,
pull against the F-350, that was pretty incredible. We'll take a look at the comments here. The glass reveal, yeah, people were surprised with that. Yeah, the glass reveal. So we knew it wasn't going to be bulletproof. You notice he Franz threw a baseball at it this time instead of a big ball bearing, but having it be rock proof is is wild. One of the big costs for replacing windshields is on a Tesla, you have to reprogram the cameras and the sensors that are at the top of the windshield. So by making these windows essentially rock resistant, you're not going to get cracks in your glass. If you do a lot of miles in your truck, you probably have to get new glass every couple of years. So that's a huge savings as well.
Well, this is a delivery event, Thank you.
So the actual presentation was only 20 minutes.
Great.
I thought it would be longer. Any comments on what
Open it.
we didn't see? Yeah, we didn't see price. That's definitely odd that we didn't see price. I'm sure it's going to leak, at some point today what these.
I mean, it's going to be
people paid for
amazing
this
to see
car.
all these cars driving around.
So the Tesla Cybertruck website is updated.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Loading it right now. Okay. Estimate rear-wheel drive 49, all-wheel drive 69, Cyber Beast 96. Okay. So
This is really going to
definitely a
change
little
the
higher
look of the
than we
roads.
had.
I mean,
Than
in
I
the
had
parking
thought.
lot, one of them does not look like the other. So, hey. See? Oh, hey, how's it going?
Oh, it's these prices include the $7,500 federal tax credit. Okay, so the actual price is like $77,000 for the all-wheel drive. So that's a little higher than I had anticipated, but Tesla's going to sell every single one of these they can make, so it's not surprising.
Is that it?
One thing to note with the pricing, starting January 1st, the $7,500 federal tax credit comes off the top at purchase. You don't have to file for that later.
Okay. All right, thank everyone. Thanks for coming to the Cybertruck delivery event. And you witnessed to what? Oh, one more. Okay, sorry. Okay. Go ahead and drive it out, actually. Looks like maybe two. All right, thanks everyone for coming to this delivery event, and appreciate your support. This is really gonna, like I said, change the look of the roads, and finally the future will look like the future, and it's really gonna be something special. Thank you.
All right, that is the end of the live stream. So I'll keep this going for a little longer. I'll take questions. So ask questions, tag me on Twitter or in the chat, and I will answer them. Let's see what we got first. I'll go to YouTube first, and I'll go to Twitter. Someone's asking about a cyber van. Yeah, I'd love to see a cyber van or a cyber bus. I think, at some stage, Tesla's going to discontinue the Model X. It's their most complicated vehicle, cost the most to make. It's the hardest to service. So I would imagine at some point we're going to see the Model X discontinued, and we're going to see a cyber bus or a cyber van. Yeah, so I think we were basically, all of us were wrong on the pricing. The pricing is higher than kind of everyone had anticipated. So that's a bit of a, I guess slightly let down for buyers, but good for shareholders, because like I said, they're going to sell every single Cybertruck they can build. So why not let Tesla capture that margin rather than, potential resellers, capture that margin. Let's see what other questions we have. Yeah, rear wheel drive 2025. So I am surprised they're actually making a rear wheel drive. So obviously it's, year and a half, maybe 2 years away. When I had met with Tesla back in March, that essentially said it was just going to be dual and tri-motor. So having a rear wheel drive is a little bit surprising to me. I thought it would come eventually. I just didn't think they'd put it on the website now. I guess they're doing that because there's going to be a lot of articles written about the Cybertruck, and of all the articles were, hey, this is a $69,000 truck, or $76,000 truck before tax credit. That's kind of negative. Now people have to say, well, it starts at $49,900 after the federal tax credit, which is, that's a super affordable truck for most people when you look at the overall cost of ownership. That's going to put this in line with, a Toyota Camry cost of ownership wise. Let's see. So have another special guest. Hi, Amy. Thanks for thanks for joining. I'm not sure if you have audio. Can you hear me okay? I don't hear you right now.
I can hear you. I'm in an Amex lounge.
Oh, nice. What city are you in right now? Can you share?
Yeah, I just landed from Chicago, flying the airplane, changed, came up to the lounge, and then I fly to Reno, and I gotta get on an airplane in 15 minutes.
Oh, fun. What was your equipment today? What were you flying?
Yeah, but I got to watch the live stream. Oh my god, it was so nice to see a very very happy Elon Musk. I mean, he was
Yeah.
jubilant, he was joyful. The Cybertruck looked absolutely amazing. The demonstration with the window worked this time. And yeah, and they, like you said, they announced the Beast Mode Cybertruck right away, which was a huge surprise to me. And I'm really, really happy that they're capitalizing on the publicity that they're going to have to do that now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like how they're actually calling it beast mode instead of, tri-motor. It's a lot more interesting. Um, so yeah, I'm not surprised we saw that one. I before you joined, I was saying I was actually surprised that they announced the rear wheel drive. It says it's not coming till 2025. I think they announced it now just so all the articles that are written about it show that the price point starts, under 50K after the 7,500, federal tax credit. I think that's why they announced it. I know people sometimes complain about Tesla Osborning itself. I don't really believe that Tesla does Osborne itself. I think you're going to have a lot of people who say, oh, I can afford $50,000 for a truck, but I can't afford, $70,000 for a truck. They'll reserve the $50,000 one. And then 6 months, year go by, and they do the Tesla stretch, and they end up buying, a more expensive vehicle. We saw this with the Model 3. I had so many friends who put down a reservation, $1,000 reservation for Model 3. At the time, they were probably driving, $20,000, $30,000 cars. But then a year or two later, they stretched and they bought a $70,000 Model S, which they never would have considered. But mentally in their head, they're already like, okay, I've already reserved a Tesla. I'm going to buy one. And they just want one so much sooner. So they end up buying one before then.
That's a really really good point, and we've seen that time and time again. And the demonstration with the Cybertruck beating the Porsche, and then at the last second for the line, it's towing another Porsche 911. That was incredible. That was really really well done. Like, it has the performance of a sports car, and also the insane utility and function of the baddest truck out there. It's a new class. It's a new category in and of itself, and Tesla just knocked it out of the park with this presentation of what this truck could do. The pricing, I suspected it would be a little bit higher to help, because they said that the margins were going to be compressed with the ramp. That it was going to be a difficult thing for them to do, and as an investor, this is a good price point. They have enough people in line that will pay a little bit extra to get it right now. And then as the Tesla always passes on efficiencies in production to the consumer every single time. They get a lot of flack for it and they don't care. They do it over and over and over again. If they gain any reduction in COGS, they lower the price. So just because this is the price introduction for as the ramp is and the cost of producing the Cybertruck is more expensive, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, this price is going to keep coming on down. And then for people that are 2 million back in line, like I am,
Yeah, I agree. And I think, the price point, I might do a little video tomorrow showing, maybe I'll stop by my local Ford dealer. But, this Cyber Beast, starting at, what is it, $96,000. Sure, that's a lot of money for a truck. But if you compare this to the most powerful, the top spec Ford F-150, which is the Raptor with a V8, that truck starts at $111,000 or $112,000. The Cyber Beast is going to outperform it in every category except for towing range and driving range. It does actually have a higher towing capacity, because the Raptor having the off-road suspension that really lowers its towing capacity. So the price point is actually, really, really fair. It looks like the battery size, one thing we haven't talked about yet is the range. So the all-wheel drive range is 340 miles. The Cyber Beast range is 320 miles. The rear wheel drive is 250. So I would imagine that the all-wheel drive and the Cyber Beast both have that 123 kilowatt hour battery. I don't think they're going to have a different battery after all.
Yeah, it will be really interesting what once we get more of these specs out. What is the cyber cell of a 4680? What is the chemistry of that? Is that an LFP battery in some format? I'm curious to see what comes out, or is that an LFP battery doped with magnesium manganese in some way to be able to up the performance. There's still details here that we just don't know that are gonna show how much ahead of the competition that Tesla is.
Yeah. So what was there anything that you were disappointed with?
I'm not the truck person that you are. So for me, my sister drives a Porsche Cayenne. This vehicle is more attractive and appealing to me than a Porsche Cayenne. And I think that you're going to see, speaking from the female perspective, that isn't necessarily the normal truck audience. If I had kids, this would be a very appealing family car for me to drive, to throw all their equipment in the back. You keep their dirty sports equipment out of the cab of the car. You have a very comfortable, large interior. I don't think people realize how large the interior of the Cybertruck truly is. You can easily fit a family inside the interior, and then you have the front and you have the bed to put everything else in, and the bed locks. So it's a whole new category of car. I know that some people will probably be disappointed in the price, but I think that's fair. And they weren't honestly just going to be at the forefront of the deliveries. And like I said, Tesla always passes on cost improvements as they make it in production. So this is the starting price. The ramp is going to be tough. It's going to be difficult. You warned us that on the earnings call. They did the same thing when they just came out with the Highline Model 3. That price will also drop down, or it's not just the new Model 3, it's not Highland anymore. But it started at a higher price than the previous Model 3 to account for, not by much, but a little bit, to account by the fact that it's going to cost Tesla money to ramp the production. And then as they get economies of scale, as more Cybertrucks start coming off the line, and the prices that they're paying to their suppliers start hitting those volume levels of discounts, and Tesla's cost coming down, and the time it takes for them to produce the Cybertruck comes down, then the cost of the Cybertruck will come down as well.
Yeah, and how soon do you think it will be until Tesla actually has positive margin on these vehicles?
I'm going 12 to 18 months.
Yeah.
On this, I think that I wish I remember the name of the guy that did the tweet about all the curves on the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
It's not that people think it is. And he was talking about the difficulty in producing those. And I think that was a very well done tweet. It had about It had 2.2 million views and counting. Because nobody had brought out that angle before. But you understand and appreciate why it's so beautiful and striking in person, so much different than when you see the photos of it. And also why Elon Musk warned that the ramp of the Cybertruck wasn't going to be easy, that it was going to be difficult. And then we have the other comment of how much it stands out with the beautiful cold rolled steel, if there's any gaps or anything else like that, that the production has to be done in very, very tight tolerances. And Jeff Lutz said that probably requires sorting parts into bins. So if you when you have suppliers, you say, or even for Tesla, you say, here's our tolerances. It might be a quarter of an inch, it might be 3 millimeters. But within that tolerance, you have parts that are on the small size of the tolerance, you have parts that are right on, and you have parts that are over. And if you really, really want to get those tight tolerances in and perfect fit and finish, then what you're doing is you're sorting the small and the large, and you're putting them together on the truck so that they match up perfectly. You're putting the ones that are right on, you're matching them up perfectly. And so that's an extra step in the process that if you look at these production models that have gone into the showroom they're just perfect. Tesla really,
Yeah.
really up the game on the fit and finish and the build quality of the vehicle when you look at the Cybertruck. I mean, you went and saw it in person. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought the fit and finish was better than, my current Model X and Model Y. I didn't see any misaligned panels. I didn't see any uneven gaps. I didn't see like waves in the stainless steel like we saw in some of the earlier prototypes. Um, it was actually clean, which is nice. Sometimes Tesla doesn't really bother to detail their vehicles. So yeah, it looked saleable. Like it looked ready for someone to take delivery. Absolutely.
Okay, I gotta run. They're boarding my flight in 5 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Amy, thanks as always for joining. Have a safe flight, and yeah, excited to see your reactions. As you have time to kind of digest it a little bit more. Take care.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, guys. So we had some great guests. I'd like to thank Herbert Ong, Emmet Peppers, and Amy for joining us. I'll stay online for another couple minutes to see if there are more questions. So feel free to tag me any questions on Twitter or in YouTube, and I'll try and get to all of those. I'll jump over to the YouTube again. So I see what someone's mentioning. What does it mean? Range plus range extender, 470 miles. Is that on the website right now, or is that the old? Website? I don't remember seeing anything saying range extender. Let's see if that's currently on there. I mean, a range extender would mean additional battery, maybe a battery that goes in the bed or a towable battery. Oh, we can scroll down on the website. Okay, let me share the website. Sharing the website. So yeah, so you're seeing this as I'm seeing it. So we see their performance, the max performance, the max towing, 11,000 pounds, max range 340 miles, 0 to 60 2.6 seconds. Built for any planet, no paint, no chips, shatter resistant. Okay, maybe this loaded up. Okay, this page is loading kind of slowly for me. Pack it up. 4 by 6 foot by 4 foot bed. We already knew that. So if the person can remind me, where are you seeing this range extender? Cybertruck specs. Okay, here we go. Cyberbeast. Performance range 320, range plus range extender 440 miles. Wow, range extender. So I'm guessing that's think of a power wall or something that goes in the bed of the truck or in the sub trunk. That's a great catch. So I will share that to my Twitter feed. But yeah, wow, range extender. So that's super surprising. Maybe if you go very off road, you will need that range extender. Or if you're towing a lot, the range extender might come in handy. But I think anything above 300 miles to me, if you're not towing, is way more than enough. If you are towing, sure, it's nicer to have the additional range. But personally, I tow a lot. I have a boat and a couple jet skis and things. But when I tow them, I'm only towing, around town. At max, I'm doing maybe 100 miles. I don't go on big long road trips towing a boat. So for me, even when I'm towing, there's enough range. Okay, if you'll give me 1 second while I post this tweet on the specs. All right, let's see what other questions are coming in. Range, yeah, this range extender, that's pretty wild. Let's see. Oh, the range extender on the all-wheel drive makes it 470 miles. Range extender looks like it's not available on the rear-wheel drive. So overall, what am I disappointed in? What am I most excited about? So yeah, so disappointed. I don't know if I'm really disappointed, or maybe surprised is a better word, with the range of the, Cyber Beast. I did think it would be higher. So am I disappointed? I guess it would be cool if it was higher, but I'm definitely going to buy it, regardless, because it's sufficient range. With the pricing, I think the pricing is totally fair. The pricing is more than I thought it would be, especially for the tri-motor, the Cyber Beast. So pricing is more than I thought, but it's totally fair. It's totally in line with what an F-150 costs, just as a purchase price. But the cost of ownership is going to be lower. So it's already cheaper than the equivalent F-150. Is it cheaper than the cheapest F-150? Of course not. But this is going to compete with the F-150 Lariat, the F-150 Platinum, the F-150 Raptor. And it's, the purchase price alone, just straight up purchase price, is going to be less, or in line, which is very fair. Let's see. And pardon me as I am typing some tweets as we're doing this. Let's see, what other questions. What am I most excited about? So yeah, the acceleration 0 to 60 and the quarter mile time. I mean, that is supercar fast. So it's supercar fast. I wonder, maybe I'll do some research, but like, to buy a 10-second quarter mile car, you probably have to spend, 90 grand on a Corvette, or a, high performance Mustang to really compete with that. So we have our one of our favorite trolls, Seth, saying, is there more information on what that looks like? When you're saying that, are you talking about the Cybertruck or the range extender? It's a range extender. I have no idea what it looks like. I'm guessing it's like a power wall that, bolts into or clips in. Probably it's easy remove, install, uninstall. I'm guessing it either goes in the bed. I think it would be too big to fit in the sub trunk. So I'm guessing it goes in the bed and probably takes up maybe like half the height of the bed. If anyone has seen a picture of it, please do let me know. It's crazy how short this vehicle is. It's crazy how short the vehicle is. Let's see, width. Does this say the width is 95 inches wide? That seems very wide. I thought it would be like at least a foot shorter, narrower than that. I don't see how. Oh, that's with the mirrors. So with the mirrors folded, the overall width with the mirrors folded is 86 inches. But what is the width without the mirror? So typically when you talk about the width of a truck, an F-150 is, well, basically all full-size half-ton trucks are 79.9 inches, not including the mirrors. So I was assuming the Cybertruck would come in there. Looks like it is going to be a little wider. If it's wider, I don't see, they've made this so efficient. The wider the vehicle, the more drag there is. So I thought it was actually be narrower. So this is pretty surprising. Sorry, posting one more tweet here. So pardon me again. If you could ask your questions in Twitter rather than YouTube. If you're on Twitter, it just makes it a tiny bit easier for me. So for all my friends who are actually in Austin at the event, I'm very jealous. I will be at the next Tesla event. My Tesla jail has been rescinded so I can attend events again. So I will definitely attend the next event. Thanks for asking about that. Let's see what other questions. Yep. Thanks. Those who are saying they enjoyed the live stream. Thanks for letting us know. We got a question. Why doesn't the Cyber Beast qualify for the tax credit? So the federal tax credit has a max price cap of $80,000. So anything over $80,000 that's a truck or SUV or any vehicle will not qualify. So that's why the Cyber Beast does not qualify. Tesla's played some games with that. Like I remember in Canada a few years ago with the Model 3, they had like 100-mile version that was software locked under the price cap that then you could pay to unlock it. So, maybe Tesla gets kind of sneaky with some, software lock functionality, but we'll see. Got a comment from Houston. Tesla are making their own batteries and getting a tax credit and can't put a decent sized battery in this. This blows. Well, we're guessing it has a 123 kilowatt hour pack. So that's a smaller pack than is in a Rivian. And it's smaller than say a max pack in a Ford F-150 Lightning. But the thing is, having a heavy vehicle makes everything else about the vehicle other than range worse. It makes handling worse. It makes performance. It makes safety. It makes acceleration. It makes braking. Like everything else gets worse with a heavier vehicle. Again, there's a study came out, I think it was like a month ago, and that said, I think the average truck owner only tows like once a year in their truck, which is kind of wild. So, most people don't actually need that towing. Let's see. I'm going to share some of the comments that are coming in here. Let me know if that's easier to see. Vehicle to grid confirmed. Okay. I didn't notice that. Operate your tools or charge any EV with integrated 120 volt and 240 volt bed and cabin outlets. So bed and cabin outlets. During a grid outage, provide up to 11.5 kilowatts of power directly to your home. Keep the lights on. Wow, that's great. So, Elon has been against vehicle to grid in the past because he didn't want Tesla cars being used as a Powerwall substitute. So basically, Powerwalls are designed to charge and deplete rapidly, just many cycles, whereas Tesla cars are more designed, they have much larger batteries. They're designed to charge all the way up and deplete all the way down. So it's kind of a different way to configure your batteries, and so that's why Tesla's been against it. But having a backup for someone like me, I live in an area with a lot of tall trees. My power goes out every single year. I could buy a gas generator, I could buy a Powerwall. I'd really only need to use them maybe once a year, twice a year. But being able to connect my Cybertruck to the house means I don't have to buy one of those. So that's great. So thank you for sharing that comment. Let's see what else is coming up. These comments are great. So this is the first live stream I've done on Twitter. I've done a couple on YouTube earlier this year. So really happy that all of you joined and asked a ton of good questions. If you guys enjoy this, I'll do other ones. Obviously, we're not going to have the same great events to discuss, but maybe once a month or more frequently if people wish. Happy to do a live stream. Someone's asking, I thought the all-wheel drive was $79,900. Yeah, that's what I was projecting it to be. So it's like what, $16,000 more. Said it before, Tesla's going to sell everyone at that price point anyway. It's cheaper than equivalent trucks anyway. Tesla may as well get the margin. So as it does suck as a buyer, it's great as a shareholder, and I think it's the right move for Tesla. Let's see. Yeah, lots of questions about the range extender. If anyone has seen any rumors posted about the range extender, please tag me in them. I want to see that as well. Yeah, it's kind of surprising that wasn't there. I'm guessing I haven't really seen what's happening at Austin right now. I'm guessing they're doing test drives for the people who went in person. So I'm sure those folks who are there in person are getting questions answered. Maybe I'll text. I will text a couple of people who are on site. Let me text Cybertruck and Tesla owner Silicon Valley and some of the other people and see if they've found out anything about the range extender. Let's see. So I'm sending a couple texts here, and we'll see if we can find out about that. Gonna jump back over to YouTube, see if there's any last questions on YouTube. It looks like that's basically it. So we'll keep going for another minute or two. So any last questions, feel free to tag them. If you've asked a question and I haven't seen it, feel free to like DM me. My DMs are open. So I'll happily answer those. I'm going to be on a couple other channels over the next day or so. I'm going to be on Herbert's channel, on Tesla owner Silicon Valley. I'm doing an interview with Business Insider, so I'll kind of be sharing some of those here as well. Let's see. Let's go to top of my mentions here. Yeah, everyone's asking about the range extender. So I think we'll end the live stream now. I'll be sending some more tweets out as I find out other stuff. Thank you everyone who joined. Really appreciate you watching. Also, I'm going to do a giveaway in the next couple of days of like a remote control Cybertruck. So be on the lookout for that. Hope you guys are as excited about the vehicle as I am, and I will catch you on the next stream. Take care.